Bryan and Bobby. Ooh, Bryan and Bobby.
There, Bob.
Oh, good morning. Good day. Constable Bryan's just given me the super yummy dog biscuit as an extra treat, but I'm not very hungry right now, so I'm going to go and bury it in the garden for later. A bit of extra dirt always adds to the flavour. Constable Bryan! Constable Bryan! Over here, Constable Bryan! Come quickly!
What is it, Bob? What's wrong?
Smell it!
I can't smell anything.
You can't smell that!
My nose isn't quite as sensitive as yours, though.
Constable Bryan, some of the dog has been in our garden, and he's left his scent everywhere. I can't bury my biscuits and my pies here anymore.
Ah, you've been tagged, Bobby.
Tagged? What? Like a cow? Where? Oh, am I it? Oh, nobody said. No, who do I have to chase?
No, calm down, Bobby, calm down. Calm down, breathe. Tagged as if somebody's marked your territory. You know, like you see in town on the fences and the walls, that type of thing.
Oh, that funny squiggly writing. Oh, I often wondered what that was. Oh. So, do you mean that if somebody squiggles something on the wall, that's their territory?
Well, sort of. Or it might be to let other people know that they've been there, Bobby.
But that's not writing.
No, but dogs mark their territory in a different way, Bobby. You guys pee on things.
Constable Bryan, can you hold your hand up for me, please? Well, you see that knobbly thing next to your fingers? Yep, your thumb. Well, you try writing without one of those. It's very difficult. Yep.
You know, Bobby, tagging isn't a new thing. It's also known as graffiti, which means to illegally draw or paint on a public surface, and it's actually been around for thousands of years.
Really?
Sure, graffiti comes from the old Italian word graffito, meaning to scratch. In ancient Greece and Rome, they didn't have spray paints or felt pens, so they had to scratch their messages on walls. There's an inscription outside a house in Pompeii that was written 1700 years ago. It reads, Cave Canem.
What does that mean?
It means beware of the dog.
Oh, we were doing our duty as guard dogs back then too.
Absolutely. You can even think of some of the ancient cave paintings as a type of graffiti.
Or really, really early interior decorating.
Nice one, Bob.
What are those guys doing, Constable Bryan?
Well, it looks like they're getting ready to do some graffiti art.
Graffiti? But that's illegal. Arrest them, Constable Bryan!
Hang on, Bobby, you're barking up the wrong tree again, mate. It's called graffiti art. It's okay. Do you know what the difference is? One word, permission.
So, some graffiti is legal?
Yes, Bobby, it's a new art form. There's even some businesses that specialise in it. Like these guys from Disruptive.
Wow! I wonder what they're going to paint.
Well, we'll come back a little bit later and have a look.
See you later, Constable Bryan. I'm just going for a walk.
Hang on, Bobby, you don't go anywhere without me. What's the story? Where are you off to?
Well, I've just filled up on water, so I'm going to go and mark my territory. Mine and a few other people's.
Hang on, Bobby. How did you feel when somebody did that to you?
A bit think and angry and a little bit scared.
So how do you think those other dogs are going to feel when you go and mark their territory or something else?
Oh yeah, a little bit scared too.
Exactly. Tagging and illegal graffiti affects people, Bobby. It makes them feel hurt and sometimes quite threatened, and even angry when something that belongs to them is damaged or marked in some way. Even marking public property like walls or scratching your name on a tree affects people. They don't like to see the city getting messed up, Bob.
Just like I didn't like it when that dog marked my property.
Exactly, Bobby, that's right. You've got to remember that graffiti, tagging and vandalism all have consequences, especially vandalism.
What's vandalism?
Ah, now there's a story. It was around 485 AD and the Roman Empire had grown weak. Out of Germany came a warlike tribe called the Vandals, who swept into the city of Rome and sacked it.
What? They fired it? It lost its job? I don't understand.
No, Bobby, it means they invaded it and stole lots of stuff and caused a lot of damage. Rome was once the greatest city in the world, so from then on, to be a vandal meant to destroy something without reason.
Vandalism is pretty stink then, huh?
Well, it's stink, expensive and dangerous as well, Bobby. For all those windows that are broken and bus stops that are smashed, it costs money. Money that could be spent on much nicer things.
Why is it dangerous though?
Well, imagine going to make an emergency phone call and the phone's broken.
Oh yeah, that'll be pretty dangerous, alright.
It is. Just like tagging, vandalism can make people feel angry, scared, and like I said before, it can put them in danger as well.
But why do people do that, Constable Bryan?
Well, sometimes people might be bored, they could be angry, or they might want to get back at somebody. Or in the case of tagging, they might just want everybody to see their name everywhere.
Oh, that's pretty silly.
Well, humans are pretty silly sometimes, Bob.
Hey, Constable Bryan, you know all that water I just drank?
Yeah?
Well, I need to go.
Bobby, look, I've explained this. You don't go anywhere without me, you know that.
No, I don't need to go. I need to go.
Ooh, off you go then, quick.
Bryan and Bobby.
Wow, that's really cool. And you're sure they're allowed to do that?
Quite sure, Bobby.
Where do you learn to do stuff like that, Constable Bryan?
Well, a lot of them are self-taught, but you can take courses in graphic design and art in various institutes and polytechs when you're older. You can try it yourself too, at school or at home, on your computer, on a piece of paper, maybe even chalk on your driveway. Just remember, wherever you do it, you need to get permission first.
I thought you said you just painted this fence a couple of years ago.
Sure did, Bobby, but it pays to stay on top of these things. I mean, can you imagine what the house or the garden or even the fence would look like if we didn't give them any maintenance for a couple of years?
Oh yeah, it would look pretty rough. Get it? Pretty rough.
It's the same with tagging and vandalism, Bob.
How do you mean?
Well, if you think of the city as a giant house, eventually it gets damaged, breaks down, and isn't a very nice place to live. That's why it's important to get rid of any vandalism straight away.
What can we do?
Well, I'm glad you asked me about that, Bobby. Even as a family, you can do something positive to stop vandalism and tagging. To start with, clean it up as soon as you see it on your property. Some parents form a community group consisting of their immediate neighbours and work together to get rid of any tagging or property damage in their area.
Is that what these families are doing, Constable Bryan?
Yes, Bobby, they've adopted an area near them and they're keeping it clean. Once taggers see that their tags are gone the next day, they probably won't bother tagging there anymore.
What else, Constable Bryan?
The Auckland City Council have an anti-tagging volunteer group set up. They'll provide you with all the equipment you need and make you an anti-tagging deputy. This is what's happening in Auckland. Why don't you check out what anti-graffiti programs are happening in your area? Remember, tagging and vandalism can cost anything from hundreds to thousands of dollars to fix. It always has a consequence, even if you don't see it. It can make people angry or afraid and can even be dangerous. The difference between graffiti and graffiti art is permission. Bobby, tagging's costing the Auckland area over $5 million a year. In fact, some schools have even had to build fences to keep taggers out. Just think, all that money could be spent on stuff like sports equipment, computers.
$5 million? Think of all the dog biscuits I could buy with $5 million.
Never mind the dog biscuits. What about the pools and the parks and the skateboard ramps that could be built for the community? Tagging really does hurt the community, Bobby.
$5 million, Constable Bryan. Oh, do you know what I would buy if I had $5 million?
A new pair of sunglasses?
A dinosaur skeleton.
Dinosaur skeleton.
Think of all those bones.
See you next time. Stay safe. Bobby, can you imagine the size of your kennel? I'd have to move out.
Big bones, though.
For more information about this program and some fun things to do, visit us at www.bryanandbobby.co.nz. Make sure it's Bryan with a Y.
Bryan and Bobby, brought to you in association with Blue Light Ventures and Trillium Trust.